someone's Discord. This is video 3 in my like kind of like basics of the instinct series. I already talked about the dominant instinct, the middle instinct, and now I'm going to talk about the last instinct. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the first one, I guess. And then there was also like a video that I just did with John Lukovich on the instincts too, where we were having a conversation and it pissed a bunch of people off, especially stuff that I said, sorry, not sorry. And like, maybe I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. Because how I see the last instinct personally, okay, is it's like the nightmare instinct. It is the bad dream instinct. It is the instinct that upsets your ego's pH balance. It's like you don't want to be there. It's itchy. It doesn't feel good. It's repressed, it's stressed, and it's messed. It's not stressed in the way that it's like the dominant instinct, like self-pres doms, like getting like hyperfixated on the like this SP problem, the plumbing. It doesn't make it your last instinct because you're like bad at self-pres. If you're fixated on it all the fucking time, it's your dominant instinct. If it's what gives you like kind of the energy to like, it feels kind of high stakes, then that's probably your dominant instinct. And the last instinct, it's like if you have a plumbing problem, you might just like ignore it in favor of social or sexual activities, like whatever that looks like in your world, and just until it explodes and then it whoops now your house is gone. Or you're gonna outsource it, or I don't know, sometimes like I feel like sometimes like self-pres issues just go away sometimes. Like you just can imagine them away. Like if you just because like what is that thing, what you resist persists, or in a way, well that applies I guess on some level too, but it's sort of like what you fixate a lot of energy on kind of like expands and can become like more horrible the more you like focus negatively on that thing. This is a manifestation thing, by the way. So if you just kind of like ignore it, sometimes it will just literally stop being important. So okay, so the last instinct is, I kind of see it as like melty face, emoji, yawn, crying, stop. It's like you don't want to experience that struggle. That's not the struggle you want to fixate on. You are not horny for that struggle. You don't want to sit with it. It's kind of like, I guess I'll deal with it when I have to, or if it's like novel or new and you're like, oh my gosh, it might like activate you temporarily, where it's like, I don't know, like for example, like sexual last, again, I see it as a last instinct, not like the blind instinct. So I don't think anybody's like blind in the instincts. I think some people are just like lower IQ and don't like notice stuff. But I don't think that you're like blind in the instincts. Or like low social IQ or low emotional IQ, low IQ in an instinct. Let's just put it that way. I'm gonna get people are gonna hate on me for this too. Like you guys need to like really get over yourself. Don't watch my channel. Don't watch my channel. If you think I'm obnoxious or you don't like my takes on stuff, don't watch. No one's making you watch this. I'm certainly not making you watch this. I don't want your bad energy directed at me. Thank you. I send it back to you, haters, by the way. I have a little process I do. It's also a yawn for the struggle. It's a yawn for the last instinct. Like I've noticed conversationally, especially like, and this is what people also get like really mad at me about sometimes. It's like roasting self-pres doms. Self-pres is my last instinct. I don't like talking about it. Like I don't want to fixate on it. Like sometimes self-pres issues come up and you do have to talk about it. Or I have friends that are self-pres last and they'll have something, but it's like the way they talk about it is different than the way self-pres doms talk about it. It's like they're able to like skip the annoying, boring details that sometimes self-pres doms fixate on, and then it's like they milk every inch of this totally boring story about like a fucking egg or something. It's like I don't care about the texture of the egg. I don't care about the temperature. Like I don't care about any of this. Why are you telling me this? I don't want to know this. It's almost like I feel like they're masturbating in front of me sometimes. It's like, ugh. Like, why are you subjecting me to this? And the thing is, like, or you're allowed to roast social doms, you're allowed to roast sexual doms, you're allowed to have opinions on the internet. Like, if you personally do not like it, hanging out with social doms and they're like yip yapping and serving tea and like bitching about people and whatever, like you're allowed to find that annoying. I don't know why this is so controversial to so many people. I assume it's like a lot of attachment types like feeling excluded, or like they're being personally attacked or something, but I don't know. It's like you don't have to like something. I don't have to be objective just because I make videos about the Enneagram. So the last instinct feels untenable. It can feel like overwhelming. And it's like a risk to what you actually desire to experience. So that would be the first instinct. And the second instinct would be like, it's like almost like order of preference, right? So this instinct is kind of like avoidable until it comes crashing down. And like honestly, like that's, I think personally, harder for self-pres last because we live in like a 3D matrix. I mean, I know that we're actually like not really, like we're kind of in like a cosmic simulation. And so when you tap into all of that, you actually can, I think, kind of somewhat leave behind self-pres stuff in a way, and this is like sort of the area that I'm trying to focus on right now. But like but it can catch up with you and then you're like a fucking baby because it's so underdeveloped. I think John said in his video it's like a muscle. I think that's what he was talking about. Maybe it wasn't, but so it's like if it's like an undeveloped muscle, like the last instinct, then when something happens crazy, which is more likely to be self-pres or maybe a social thing where like if you become famous or something and then like it's a PR crisis, I don't know, then like yeah, it's gonna like come to like fucking bash you in the face with a mallet. So, um, there's a price that you pay for being like social sexual or sexual social because you're you're like a useless deformed quivering baby in the self-pres instinct unless you actively have to or take the time to like try to develop it. But it's like largely not rewarding unless it's motivated by social or sexual. So yeah, you usually find like the last instinct kind of like disruptive or terrorizing in a way that derails baseline disruptions, like it's a slap to the face. And so it can be like something that you just like don't really get or you don't really care about or you don't care to get or care about. And so unless it like threatens like your dominant instinct and then you're going to have to like get to learn about it. The last instinct is the focus or fixation. The person is the quickest to ditch or offload as soon as they can. It holds like little to no juice in their mind. So it's like a problem to solve. It's like a kind of like, oh, let's put out that fire kind of a situation, I think. Because the last instinct just doesn't hold that much value or juice or excitement or interest for people usually. This is anecdotal, but like I've talked to like a few people that are sexual last, and this won't be the case for all sexual last, but it's like not being able to like kind of like hold that charge or it's like a fleeting thing. It's sort of like a temporary thing to get the bonded pair, like some kind of SPSO, SOSP thing where it's like you kind of go through that like little frenzy period, the honeymoon period, and then you kind of settle into a baseline. And so if you're like high sexual and you do that with somebody who's low sexual, and then it's like, oh, well, I thought we were on the same page, and then you get into the relationship and it's like, well, now what? Like, there's nothing here now. If you're sexual last, this is my opinion, okay? You don't have to take it as like some personal attack. This is my personal opinion as somebody who has dated in the world, okay? And then it's like there's nothing there anymore. It's like the charge is gone. The like energy has dropped. And you say to the person, are we breaking up? Like, what is this? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No. Why would we break up? What do you mean, why would we break up? It's like gone. Like, whatever that was is gone now. So now what am I supposed to do? Like, we're breaking up, right? Like, it's like you can go into like different zones to get your needs met where it's like I can go like if I force myself, I get like the Pomodoro method going and I'm like, all right, I'm locking in. Like when I do my taxes, I get drunk. I pour myself spritzers when I have to clean. I put on all this music or like podcasts that make me laugh. Like I do what I have to do to get through it because it's so awful. Or like, you can charge up the SP stuff with like some kind of like vision that you have and then but then when it comes to actually following through, especially if you have 9 in your type, it's like, oh, I don't want it, that's too hard. So I think it's harder for self-pres last to do. I think like if you have like a self-pres dom, even if you don't like it, you can still kind of lock in and get into like a track like a tractor beam with it and you can just kind of like keep building, like doing some kind of like SP mounting on top of mounting on top of mounting, like bricklaying or something. So yeah, like the dominant instinct overassigns importance and it dominates the person's field. Um, So which can make it seem like a last instinct if the grip is too tight and the behaviors are like self-negating, like self-sabotaging, like if they become um like self-preservation dominants who are like bad at it, like where they drink a ton or they like eat a lot of garbage or they're like always broke, they're just like bad at that, but they're still like fixated on the self-presiness of it all. um it's like they can like you can get scarcity, right? Scarcity, you can get scarcity in self-pres, you can get scarcity in social, and you can get scarcity in sexual, and that will be dependent on your type, like if that is even a thing for you. But it's it's like, and if you have like four, if you have nine, if you have six, like you can be a self-saboteur. So um again, like I know people have already like talked about this before, but it's like you don't have to be good at your instinct. It's just the thing that you're horny for, you're tractor beamed into, you are lasered in on. It's the field, it is the water in which you swim. And you might not realize where your attention is going, also, by the way, like because it's the water you swim in. So it might be like other people that tell you, no, no, like this is where you are, this is like what you're always yapping on about, this is where you seem to like fixate. So sometimes it is better to like get an outside perspective. But I have found it like over the last like year and a half, I really really wanted to like understand what I was doing with my instincts. And so I started like observing myself constantly, like whether it was like after something happened or in the middle of something happening where I was just like, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? Like what's oh, I feel like electricity, or like I feel like I'm dying, and like what's happening here, and like how do I get how do I get away from this death feeling? How do I get more of this feeling without it ruining my life? How do I get like, so it's kind of like a game you can play with yourself. And like I think that like people can get like a little bit too hung up on the identity part of the Enneagram, where it's like, no, I'm this type, and so then they don't want to like see anything outside of, or they like to absorb other people's sort of thing and be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing too, and then they start imagining they're doing that thing, but it's like kind of just like a temporary acting job that they have, you know? I'm not saying it's bad to do that. I think like it would probably be a great exercise for people to do, is to like LARP as a LARP is like a SP DOM, LARP is an SX DOM, LARP is a social DOM, just to like see how different your experience is. I kind of want to do that now. No, actually I don't. And so like I said, the last instinct is usually an avoidance, repression, ignoring, and then when it's forced to be, and then when you're forced to be in that instinct, it can be like a time of chaos and fear and shame and panic and crisis. So like you know, the chaos and stuff is more assigned to the sexual instinct, but if it's like your last instinct, it can feel chaotic because it's like I don't know what's happening. When the person feels very destabilized and terrorized, overwhelmed, like just energy is being drained from you. It's like not the water you swim in, it's not the water you want to swim in. And like for me personally, like I feel like I'm being held hostage a lot of the time when I'm in conversations with self-pres doms. Not always. Some of my best friends are self-pres doms, but sometimes it's like I just like leave my like I just leave the room mentally. I just like start thinking about all this other stuff I'm interested in, because it's like, oh my God, I don't care. Like, why are you telling me every fucking detail about this? I don't need to know any of this stuff. Like, this is none of this is interesting to me. And then they do the same thing to me where they're just like, oh God, Larissa, not again. And like they're just like, uh-huh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, wonder how that happened again. Wonder what you're doing to make these things happen. You know what, though? I will say this. Maybe what people really need to do is learn the art of entertainment and charm. So that if you're an SP dom and you're going to talk about your fucking chicken coop or your pillow collection, maybe you can do it with a little bit more flair, okay? Maybe you can, I don't know, just consider adding a little bit of flair and zhuzh to your presentation. And like maybe other dominant instincts, you know, maybe social doms can weave in a few extra, you know, self-prezi details. Oh, she was wearing a muumuu made of rayon that stunk of onions, and just I could feel it. I could feel it suffocating my skin just looking at her. Like maybe you can just, you know, zhuzh it up. If you're gonna get mad when people are like, I don't want to hear your SPSO tale of woe, put a little bit more effort into your SPSO tale of woe, okay? Your coach, your Enneagram coach, Larissa, is just telling you, just put in a little bit more effort. Bring a little artistry. Bring a little artistry into your conversations. So I wrote up a while ago a bunch of these descriptions of the stackings. So this sort of like maybe clarifies a little bit also of what I was just talking about. So if you're self-pres dominant, self-preservation dominant, and then you're social second, so you'd be self-pres social, SPSO, and then you would be sexual last, so you'd be SP, SO, SX. So you still have SX and your type is just last, right? You still get your SX. So self-pres doms, and I talked about this, I think, in my first video, where it's like, this is the bag they're securing. I don't know why I picked that as a metaphor, but I did. I kind of hate it now. So self-pres doms secure the self-pres bag secondarily via the social connections, clout, communities, the storefront, the public-facing persona, the partner, the mate. So they often like can choose like a mate like fitting for a self-pres ideal, like whether it's like a trophy, like a physical, like if you got like a SPSO 3, they might want the like the pretty wife that fits, that matches like their house and their car and will help them build their little empire without causing any problems for them, but you know, like be able to like make them look good. Um, you know, or they bring to the table like they're stable, they have a good job, they bring in like $100,000 a year, and so it's like, oh, there, that's great. This social connection, this relationship I have is making me richer. Is this reductive? Yes. If you don't like my stuff, don't watch my stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I have personality, okay? Anyways, I see self-social sexual as like kind of like the ant colony, the bricklayer mentality, following the well-trod path for successful outcomes. Of course, this like is like altered by like the tri-type and the dominant type and whatever else, but it's like kind of this is what's the baseline happening here, right? But you can be like a Mercedes-Benz self-pres social where it's like you got all the finer things, you got the luxury things, you got the house, you got the kids, you got the maid, you got the whatever. Or you can be like a Dollarama can hoarder, freebie seeker, self-pres social, counting your little coins, asking the cashier, how much is this with this discount? Is there a discount for this? Can I get a discount because I'm like over the age of 50? Can I get, like, you could be one of those self-pres socials. You're not my favorite kind. There's also just like regular self-pres socials who are just like, I really just like knitting. I like knitting in front of the fire. But I really, really like knitting. And also there's like a competency aspect to self-pres doms, which is that they're like usually building some kind of like practical skill. They're just kind of doing it, you know, they doing stuff with their hands, whatever. Sexual lastness in self-pres socials is like, if you know, like obviously most people, not all, but most people like want to date or have a partner or a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, or something, somebody to hook up with or whatever. But what can happen is that when they get into the groove, like once they're like actually just like, all right, like this thing has been solved, like this problem has been solved, I found my mate, then it can like be like lacking chemistry. Like a self-pres social is probably way less likely to stay with like some chaotic like sexual dom unless there's like something else they're getting out of it, because like they'd be risking like a lot of self-prezi needs. Um, this is just a thought that I'm having. I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, but it can manifest, I think, like I've noticed anyways, like a lot of self-pres socials can be in relationships. Yes, I'm throwing shade at people I know. And then they're like not really having sex or like anything like this, or there's not really any chemistry. They're just sort of like they wake up, they do the like they take out the garbage, they watch the TV show together, and then it can manifest as like a wandering eye. But because they're self-prosocial and they're maybe not as willing to like blow up their life, it can like be like, you know, like Instagram porn sick scrolling, like this kind of stuff. The wife cooks dinner, the guy like looks at boobs on the internet or something, like follows like OnlyFans chicks or something. Um, so for self-pres sexual social, or otherwise known as self-pres sexual, they kind of secure their self-pres bag with the help of like their physical attractiveness. Usually it's like, even regardless of whatever their core type is, like even if they don't dress weird or unconventional, they probably have like a vibe. Like there's like an undercurrent vibe to self-pres sexuals often that's kind of like almost like if they're gross, to be honest. Like some of them are gross, and it's like an unsettling kind of vibe where I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to be alone with this person. um, but it's also very hot when the person's like, can be very sexy too. Because often there's like a mysterious or strange flavor that like makes their skills or their hovel or their body more compelling. Um, Creating like intensity or sparking intrigue, like using flirts, exhibitionism, and that's like kind of like often designed to like lead to like securing money or resources, where they're like like sex sells kind of like, or like pulling somebody towards them to amplify like their comfort, their physical gratification. I kind of see like self-sexual a little bit as like a beast man. And so there will be that like undercurrent sort of under what they're doing. So it's like a self-sexual might like favor hooking up with like I don't know, or like calling escorts or doing like weird drugs, like getting themselves into weird experiences, but then they'll go back to like the self-pres thing, where they're like drinking soup off a hot plate and like mainlining black coffee to tinker for 8 hours or make money or something, like make a whole bunch more money, and then they can go like they can go spend it on hookers. I just see self-prosexual as like the kind of, yeah, like the hooker fucker instincts hacking, but I could be wrong. And they have like a more like self-prosexuals, in my opinion anyways, have like a more degenerate, grimy vibe than self-pres social. You you kind of get like sticky in their hovel, and it will be like the worst UTI of your life. So because like sexual can screw up a self-pres agenda, they'll probably like make like they'll do it in bursts maybe more, and then baseline back to self-pres, which is sort of what I was saying. And like social last can manifest as not being aware of social consequences or cues, or how bad something looks, or how like maybe spread like wildfire through like all the social gossip networks. And then that may later threaten their like self-pres resources because of an unwillingness to like engage interrelationally outside of the cave, or to like learn kind of like social skills. Like there are tons of self-pres sexuals that are like great and like fun to talk to and this and that. So it's like I have just like anecdotally noticed like some older men where I'm like, that person is for sure self-pres sexual, regardless of whatever their actual type is. And they're just so inappropriate. It's like not reading the room. They're making people uncomfortable. They're just saying stuff where it's like, this is like you're at like a store or something. It's like you're at a coffee shop, like you're out in public, or it's like that's like whatever you're saying is not appropriate, because it's like sexual second is just like ooh, whatever, and it's like the social last aspect of it is like you're just not reading the room. You're not picking up on social cues. Like you might be picking up on sexual cues, or like you're imagining you are, because somebody smiles at you because they're like, oh, that's nice, because they're social dom, and they're like, and the self-sexual might be like, yeah, it's nice, isn't it? So, you know, not all self-sexuals are going to be like this, but I imagine that it's not an uncommon occurrence, let's just say. Social sexual, so social and then sexual and then self-preservation. Social sexuals are like securing their social bag, what they want in the social instinct, via chemistry, flirtation, spontaneity, provocations designed to get attention socially, or draw energy to social needs, advancing themselves relationally, like through who they can like drive into like a limerent frenzy maybe, but like maybe it networks them somewhere, or they kind of get some like social advantages from it. So they can use like sexual to like start fires with people that advances them like in their career in a way that's not like self-prezi, or like they can use it in a way to like if they're, I don't know, like fucking just bored and like drumming up drama for people, you know what I mean? So they have something to talk about because they're just um distracting themselves from SP things that they probably have to do. Sexual serves to feed the social hunger to be somebody noteworthy. Lovers and partners may serve to boost their social signal and buzz around them. Or they may even just like, I've noticed like people with sexual in their type, like whether it's sexual dom or sexual second, can almost like use other people's crushes as like narrative fuel, where it's like, oh my God, this person is so obsessed with me. I'm guilty of doing this, but it's like, oh my God, they're all so obsessed with me. Like, oh my God, listen to this. And it's like, yes, poor you. You had no part in that, did you? Everybody's just so helplessly in love with you. Um, and yeah, and like social sexuals can be like gossiping trash bags or chaos or the chaotic friend that you invite to the SVSO board game, the trivia nerd gathering, to like shake things up a little bit maybe. And like same goes, I think, for like sexual social. So social sexual may use sexual to like sexualize or create intrigue around their social role. Like they turn it on, like get into like the charmer mode. And the self-pres lastness can manifest as like leveraging connections to take care of uninteresting self-pres realm stuff. Like maybe they'll have a bunch of self-pres friends and pretend they don't know how to do something to get help doing something. Like I think of like social sexuals and sexual socials as like hot messes. I think like sexual self-preses can be too, but I think it's worse with like social sexual and sexual social. Um, and then like but they might have to like lean into self-pres if it's threatening their ability to get what they want socially. If they become like known consistently, uh, like if they become known as consistently unreliable, chaotic, or disruptive, or like they're just too flirty, or they're not getting their shit done, or like, or I don't know, their life just falls apart, and then they don't have any friends left. You don't have any couches left to sleep on. No more parties to get invited to, and then they have to self-pres. This is just an overview. Social self-pres, sexual, that order. The social dom, in this case, is securing the social bag through tangible and marketable skills, their impressive acquisitions or potential acquisitions, finances, art collection, house, car, their business. They may be using their body to advance self socially via fashion and style. At least I personally think social self-preses are more refined, and have like more refined and snooty tastes, I think, than like self-pres socials and social sexuals. And they can like more effortlessly pull off like an elegant or dapper kind of look. I think some sexual socials are like that too, and they signal their social worth. Social self-preses signal their social self-worth through self-pres sculpting. So like judge a book by its cover. They might use self-pres as like a portal to reap social harvest, to curate their social world and like block out riffraff. So they're going to be more like a gatekeepery. They'll be gatekeeping for different reasons than like another type of gatekeep. So they'll be gatekeeping because they want to keep their little book club um, above standards. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to have any of these messy hoes at our book club. We're social self-preses can wall out attraction, so they can wall out the sexual instinct in favor of maintaining social standing. And I think like kind of like I've noticed like anecdotally a lot of social self-preses like have this kind of thing that kind of want to look like impressive, like that they're this sort of like statuesque, almost like I'm the person people like to gravitate to, but it's not like with the social sexual or sexual social kind of magnetism. It's more like friend magnetism, like they're the friends you really want to have, like um they're more reliable, they're less chaotic, but they still have like the social dom riz. Like I think a lot of social nines are like very turned on, like conversationally. So yeah, they can wall out sexual attraction or like compartmentalize it, which then can lead to like bone dry kink. Or like depending on also what their core type is, their like sexual lastness could like interrupt their game of high tea when their partner sneaks out back to have one off with the horny maid. They might clock it, like as a social dom, they might clock certain things in the field, but they might be less inclined to like even bother engaging with it. It's like, ugh, like I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that, or I'm gonna just say something passive aggressive and just hope it goes away in the context of this example. And their lack of willingness to play can prevent them from opening up social rooms that they might want in. So because they might be like more demure, then they're not accessing that field of like what could happen. But I mean that also works in their favor professionally if and that if it's in the context of like social networking or something, like it's probably better to be a social self to kind of give off a bit of the buttoned up vibe. Wife material. I don't think sexual doms give off wife or husband material. Even though they could become fixated on something like that, they don't give off that vibe, unfortunately. I think it's more social self-pres and self-pres socials that give off husband-wife material vibes. Okay, sexual self-pres, so sexual self-pres, social. The they're trying to secure the sexual bag full of like limerence and intrigue and chemistry and drama and penetration inside of a secret world blocked out by an SP wall. So it's like behind closed doors for your eyes only. And the bouncer may slide the eye hole to the door over and look you up and down like a delicious morsel. But invitation to the cave is special and a show designed for one, potentially, unless there are three. Or perhaps you will be led down a long corridor where you're kept in a cell waiting for your turn, but you will feel the vampire's thrall and smell the pheromones as you impatiently wait for your Edward Cullen. um, anything I say that's positive about any of these types, it's just me having like fun with descriptions. Like I'm not elevating any fucking type here, okay? Just because you're triggered by my descriptions, all right? Just deal with it. First strategy for summoning, so their like main strategy for summoning sexual supply is magnetic lures. So calling upon subjects like casting a spell. Self-pres strategy uses like the beauty of the physical body or like attractiveness, their artistry, their skills, but it's like a sexual display. Their aesthetic mesmerism, signaling both predator and prey. The environment or the atmosphere is like charged with like the bait that they're putting out, like a siren summoning you to your death. The cost of admission is your potential destruction. And no, this is not a hyperbole, I don't think. Because with social last, it's like there's not as much places for them to get that social juice, like the people juice. It's going to be like you. Or if you're not given enough juice, maybe they're going to have a you and a you too. You will recognize the sexual self-pres by the sweater they wear, knitted from the veins of their past and current victims that are feeding them sexual caffeine. They will try and keep this process somewhat behind closed doors in their sex tomb, but it will ooze out like infectious fluids. Social lastness mistakes and blunders can mess with the sexual self-pres game of intrigue when the social meddlers involve themselves or they pick up on things. The social field threatens to overwhelm what the sexual self-pres cannot control and might threaten existing sexual bags that they're still squeezing the life out of if a meddler tries palpating it. Sometimes I like my writing on the Enneagram. Yeah, I think that like social last can kind of get scared when the social world where it's like, oh no, what's going on? What are people saying? What are people especially if they're like a six or they have six in their type or I don't know. Oh my God. I think sexual self-preses are going to be more sensitive to social shit than self-pres sexuals because self-pres sexuals are like almost just like a horny wall. It's like a wall with a hole in it. Full of spider webs and poisonous snakes. They're gonna like maybe bite your crotch or whatever you put in the hole. But I think like sexual self-pres is like way more vulnerable because they're sexual dominant. So there's like the sensitivity of sexual and like the more like um porous kind of thing. And then it's like the self-pres wall comes up like to protect them after they've gotten themselves into trouble socially maybe. And because like sexual is the dominant instinct, then if it threatens like romantic stuff, which it might, if because of the social field and how disruptive the social field can be, um, then yeah, I think that they're more threatened by social. Just that's just a thought that I'm having. Sexual social. So self-pres last is securing a bag full of limerence and addictive intrigue via the energy field and symbolic web of people, groups, relationships, the audience. Um, Connections are prioritized, deprioritized by their capacity to provide the juice. Um, but yeah, I feel like sexual socials fancy. I think all sexual types do, and I think especially depending on what their type is, but I think it's like they can fancy themselves like the star guest in a masquerade ball. And like every guest serves to feed or enhance or threaten the seductive narrative they're actively writing through these connections for one person. So like a sexual social could like lock in like a sexual self-pres, but they might be sort of like putting it out there more for the world to see because it's like amplifying their self-image, like their sexual image, like socially, or like it's making themselves more desirable, not like a desirable object, like a sexual self-pres where they're like employing it with like the body. It's more about like I'm the one with the magic. Um, and I mean, and also like, I mean, I think that like all different types can triangulate, but I think sexual doms triangulate the most. But I think sexual socials probably triangulate the most out of probably any stacking would be. I mean, threes triangulate like fucking crazy, anyways, regardless of if they have sexual or not. But I think like if you have sexual social is the most triangulating probably instinct where it's like little people, little attraction people pieces being moved around until they get their sexual limerent bag or whatever secured. The person with the juiciest, that's like both amplifying them socially and giving them like their kind of sexual lore. Yeah, and like if they're not getting lore from one of them, they might start creating lore with somebody else. Social seconds may change dance partners and exchange glances with others, but it's all part of the spectacle to hook one subject. Um, and they might use these guests to highlight how attractive they are. Look at all these people that are obsessed with me, which may or may not backfire. The danger that sexual socials play with social as a middle instinct is that when they're throwing lures in the air, it's like you don't know who's going to see that shiny lure, who's going to bite that shiny lure, because it's not as secretive as sexual self-pres. So it's like you might attract a bunch of fishes you don't want in your fucking net, in your net. Because you're just kind of like throwing them out there, and then it's like, oh no, why am I getting spammed by all these people? That wasn't for you. Um, And there's like, I think more of a competitive thing with sexual socials because they are moving people around. So, like I said, triangulating. They could dance away with somebody else. You're replaceable. You will feel the flap of their wings in the air before you realize you've been left stranded in a mob of chemically castrated thriller zombies. I don't really know what I meant by that. If you are a savvy enough paramour, you'll be able to follow the glittering breadcrumbs into the sky after them, where you may be destroyed by the change in altitude by the brightest sunshine. Sexual socials are competitive in a dispersed way, escalating social sparks to energy harvest and create a dizzying effect on their target. They use social to funnel infatuation material to them in a more unrestricted way than sexual self-pres. So I assume that like, like related to like my middle instinct episode, because sexual socials are the middle instinct is the instinct that you have more looseness with. So it's like they're kind of like able to like capture people, I think, a little bit more easily, even if they're not as like desirable or attractive as like the sexual self-pres, because the sexual self-pres is just like not reading the social field the same way. But lack of self-pres for the sexual social can bite them when all the glittering sex bombs they've been dropping detonate and have consequences, where you have a like a bomb over there, you have a landmine over there, you got intrigue over there, you got a fire over there, and then oh no, they're all in the same room at the same time. I imagine that a lot of self-pres last get themselves into like situations where they're like in total danger and they're just like completely oblivious until it's too late, or it's like, oh, how do they get into the situation? Because they're self-pres last and they're just creating energy and they're just like, oh, like I'm just floating around in this energy field, uh, like a crazy pixie. So there can be like a lot of like foundational self-pres damage that they could do with this disruptive energy and sort of where it like screws them over. Like and also like like self like if you're sexual social self-presence, like you're gonna be so much more easily sucked into like romantic excitement or um fixating, like obsessing about somebody and like whatever and like not tending to like shit that you need to do. Um and it can backfire like monumentally. Also, like, I mean, obviously, like most I assume that like a lot of sexual socials just try to like find a partner that's got self-press. And then they can just be fabulous, but then, the risk of that is then if the person doesn't have sexual in their type, that then you feel like Tinkerbell trapped in a lantern. I see like what sexual doms are doing is like they're kind of casting spells almost. And so it's like it's not like they're lying, but it's like there's kind of this illusion quality to it where it's like you're hooking someone, you're sort of like creating this like energy with somebody, and then when reality hits, and it will hit like a sexual social in the self-pres realm where it's like, like they're a fucking hot mess, like they have like no money or they're sleep on like an air mattress, um or it's just like they're just unable to like regulate themselves like a person. They're always getting fired from jobs or like I don't know. Or if they're your partner and they're just always causing drama by accident, like there's wives that are accusing them of flirting with their husband or like whatever it is. So it's like, and then they could lose their self-pres bag and it's their husband. Because sometimes the self-pres bag is the person because they have money. If you're bad at it. Um, I don't know what else there is to say. For the people who think that I overly glamorized the sexual instinct again, like I don't know what to tell you. It's glamorous. Deal with it, haters. Deal with it, jealous haters.